fasting is something that I would recommend everyone to do. I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving medical advice, but I will talk about what I do know about fasting. So when you are digesting food, this requires a lot of energy and resources from your body. So when you are digesting food constantly, which a lot of us are because we're taught that you wake up in the morning and you have breakfast and then you have lunch a few hours later and then you have dinner and you're digesting as you go to sleep, and it's just perpetual digestion. Technically, while we do require food in this density, in this dimension that we are living in, it is a stressful event, you could say, for your body to consume food. And what happens is, if you are always digesting, as I said, it requires a lot of your physical resources to digest food. And what that means is these resources, because they're being allocated to your digestion, are not being used for other functions. And some of these functions could be higher functions, higher mental functions, higher spiritual functions, higher energetic functions. In addition to this, there is an energy in the food that we consume, and a lot of what is commonly available isn't always healthy. And you can make it healthier even if you are eating something that is known to not be healthy. I recommend praying over your food. I don't ingest anything, water, a meal, anything I eat or drink, I bless first, because you can change the structure of the food itself, of the water itself, and you can change how your body responds to it. So one example of this is that they've done scientific studies on, is they have recorded the electrical signals coming from live foods as they are being eaten. So you are able to measure the energetic signature of a plant. For instance, if you are going to eat a salad, the vegetables will elicit almost like a stress response, like a scream as it's about to be eaten, and this is measured scientifically. And they have found that when you pray over your food, and this is just one example, there are so many examples of this. When you pray over your food, it's almost like you come into an agreement with this food, you express your gratitude for it, and this scream response doesn't occur. So what you're doing in that moment is you're transmuting the energy of the food and allowing it to be metabolized differently. So same thing goes with water. It has been proven scientifically that water, by the work of people like Dr. Emoto, when words are spoken to water and you look at it under the microscope, the structure of the water will change based on the frequency of what was said to it. So saying positive words will make it look different. Saying negative words will make it look all chaotic and change the structure. So bless your water, bless your food before you do eat it. When you are eating, an example of what I would say is, I'll hold my hands over it because you have chakras in your hands, and I'll visualize that white light is coming from my hands and going into the food or going into the water, and I'll say, God bless this food, God bless this water, whatever it is. May this food be full of God force, the highest vibrational light. May all dense energies be transmuted into the light. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the sustenance. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. And the white light is coming from your hands. And then I consume it. So this makes a big difference in how your body reacts to the food and the structure of the food itself, especially if it's meat. That's a denser energy. You're going to want to spend an extra 20 seconds with that energy transmutation, because you don't know what there might be trauma. There might be the energy of trauma in the food you're about to consume, and then you're consuming that traumatic energy, but you can transmute that first. I forget the name of the guy who did the experiments on the plants, but I got this information from David Wilcock, who compiled a vast amount of information on the source field and our interactions with it. And part of these studies that he refers to involved substances that we consume. So fasting, taking a break from the perpetual process of digestion. In terms of our ancestors, we did not always have food available. It is normal for us to sometimes go a few days without food, to eat a few times a week, to eat a meal a day. It wasn't normal to constantly be eating, so your body is able to handle those break periods. And what happens when you fast is a natural function begins to occur, something called autophagy. And what autophagy is your cells cleaning themselves up. So dead cells being removed, things being repaired, cell repair. This repair has a hard time happening if you're always digesting food, because you can't get into that state. That process of autophagy can't begin. So your body has a natural healing process. Health is our natural state, unless we are doing something to hinder that natural process that our body has instilled in it already as a baseline. So fasting can be a way to allow for your body to perform its natural healing functions, because digestion, as I said, is one of the ways that we can potentially get in the way of that natural process. In the older Bibles, it was said that, and this is the verses, Matthew something, but it's just in the older Bibles, where it said that Jesus had said that fasting and prayer heals all things, heals all disease. And this was something that is omitted in newer Bibles. If you take an older one and a newer one and look, it'll be, I think it's Matthew 21 or 20, and it'll just skip to 22 in the newer ones. But this is something that Jesus apparently had said. So give it a shot. It doesn't I'm not saying how long you have to do it for. You can do it in your own way, do your own research. Only do it if it resonates. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. That goes for anything you hear from anyone ever. But something that I will often do is not eat in the morning, and then have my first meal around 3 p.m. and then have dinner and then some snacks, and then I'll be done. You're not eating while you sleep, obviously, and then that repeats itself every day. So you can find your own way to do it, but you could do a couple days of fast. I've known people who have done 11 days of just water. I haven't done anything like that. I've done juice cleanses for 8 days, I think was my longest. But the way that I feel when I'm fasting, the way that I feel when I'm on a juice cleanse, and there isn't that interference of digestion perpetually, you feel very mentally clear. I find that I feel happier, my mood is better, clearer energy, clearer mental state. And it's just something that we have overall lost as humanity, but it's something we can get back to. And it goes against what we are told, you know, eat your 3 meals a day, don't skip breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And that stopped resonating with me when I started to tune into what my body actually wanted. And I found myself eating when I wanted to eat, and it wasn't all day. There has been times in my life where I did want to eat all day, and that was usually to fill a void, to cover up emotions, to avoid feeling things. So yeah, do your own research, maybe implement it, and there's other information out there if you need some more convincing, that's okay. But it's very powerful, and it definitely enhanced my life greatly. So yeah, give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Also, I am teaching a new round of Lightworkers. I teach a Lightworker course, an energy healer practitioner course that starts again on March 29th. It runs every Sunday from 12 to 2 PST on Zoom live with me. So we go over everything that I found to be the most important, beneficial on my spiritual journey, from everything that I've researched, everything that I've read, my years of university, my yoga teacher training, my training for 11 years with a psychic, my personal experience with beings like archangels, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, my guides. Everything that I find to be the most important, I have included in this course. We talk about the dimensions, the nature of reality, the power that you are, connecting with that power, talking to your guides, talking to your angels. We do past life regressions, we do healings, we activate your 5D DNA. At the last segment of the course, the last 5 weeks, we learn energy healing, and I was taught this mode of energy healing by Archangel Michael, the Arcturians, and the Pleiadians. So if you want to join that, I'll leave the link below. I'm also available for sessions, for quantum energy healing sessions, for readings, and for 5D DNA activation and light codes, and then Lightworker guidance, spiritual guidance. So I'll leave that link below. Okay,